My stoner friends wanted to sit me down in college and have me watch episode 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6 as an experiment. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that.
No, you don't do it that way. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Official, unofficial, official, unofficial, official, unofficial. It's definitely not official. Official, unofficial, official, unofficial, official, unofficial. It's guess.
Welcome to the Official Unofficial New Girl podcast. I am your host, Al, and with me, my co-hosts, Erica. Hi, Erica.
Hello. What's up?
How's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
And good. And Ben, right there, please be excited. How you doing, Ben? It's going to be lots of fun to edit that.
You're
Um,
welcome.
today we're talking about episode 8, season 1, Bad in Bed, written by Josh Malmuth, who actually now works on a great workplace comedy, Superstore. I don't know if you guys watch that with America Ferrera. It's pretty good. It's no The Office, but it's good. And it's directed by Jesse Peretz. We have a couple of guest stars. We have Michaela Watkins from SNL playing Gina, Schmidt's boss. We have Ava Murray, Susan Sarandon's little girl, playing Beth.
Oh my gosh. I didn't know that. Oh
Did
my
you guys
gosh.
not know that?
That makes a
didn't
lot
know
of
that.
sense. Yeah.
It makes so much sense. Wow.
Yep. And we also have Justin Long reprising his role as Paul Gangslinger.
Gunslinger.
A fan favorite in terms of guest stars. We'll get into that later. So the episode starts off with Jess and Paul coming home after a date and not going very well. Then Jess ends up apologizing for being nervous because, as she says, she hasn't had sex with anyone other than Spencer in 6 years. So she suggests a dinner date instead. Meanwhile, Nick is stressed about getting a haircut, which I can definitely relate to. Schmidt realizes he's missing out on the corner cubicle at work because he's not invited to the boss's baby shower. Jess and Cece go lingerie shopping later to try and get Jess into fixing what she had trouble with earlier. And Jess finds a starfish teddy. I love this line where she says, "I hope Paul's packing some coral polyps because this starfish is hungry." And then goes on to explain that joke, saying starfish eat coral polyps, of course.
So good.
Nick then goes ahead and actually, he doesn't go ahead. He tries to give himself a home haircut while watching a YouTube video, which I have done. And I know what you're thinking, COVID, like, that's probably why you did it. No, this was 2010. So
You were doing it before it was cool,
before it was cool, absolutely. So Schmidt finds a way to invite himself to Gina's party, his boss. Meanwhile, Jess finds porn on a laptop, and then goes on to ask the guys how to be good at sex, and asks them if Paul watches porn. Schmidt says he's into light choking, I think is what Schmidt says. The boys fight about who's better at sex and demand Jess gives her opinion. And that's when Paul gets in there, saves her from answering that question. Schmidt then manages to get invited to the baby shower and becomes the life of the party. And then Jess and Paul try to do a little role play or dirty talk, which to Jess means an old-timey newscaster voice. And Paul, a very hilarious but accurate Jimmy Stewart. I love that. Until Jess tries to choke him, he freaks out, and then Nick then returns from Winston's regular barbershop with a Vanilla Ice haircut, because that's what you get, I think. Jess then tells the guys that she choked Paul and scared him off. That's when Winston reassures her that Paul's crazy about her and she shouldn't be doing any of that. That's when Paul drops by and she apologizes to him. And Paul responds with, "I'm really intimidated by you, Jess. You're so experienced. I've never done any of that stuff, that S&M style bondage stuff," which is so innocent and hilarious. And they make up and end up having sex in an elevator.
Yeah.
So that's the summary of the episode. I found some cool trivia about this episode, actually. Zooey Deschanel, her performance in this episode got her an Emmy nomination for Outstanding Lead in a Comedy Series.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I can see that.
Yeah, she was
It was
fantastic in
great.
this episode.
She was phenomenal. We also had great guest stars, and are we going to be ranking them?
I love that song.
I
We
love
should
that
always
song.
have Ben sing. Ben should always sing.
Yeah.
Ben should always sing. This is our new segment, Who's That Guest, where we rank every guest star that we've had on the show so far. And I'm going to start off with saying I think Justin Long is at the top of my list so far. What do you guys
Heck
think?
yeah. I agree with you 100%. Genslinger is one of my favorite characters in this show. And I'm sad that he's not around more often. I almost wish that he was a more common character, like around, you know. I wish that he stuck around more, but he's Justin Long's one of my favorite actors to begin with anyways. He's hilarious, but he just plays this part so well. And he shines in this episode. It's one of my favorites, just him being so timid and scared of Jess, even though they are basically the same person. And he's definitely my favorite guest so far.
What do you think, Ben?
Yeah, so gotta go Genslinger. Even just for the the terrible foreplay in this episode. Where he
The
sounds like
Jimmy
a bloody
story.
bloody night. It also sounds like almost like a 1950s like teleopera. Oh, it's so bad and so awkward. It's just perfect. So no,
Hey.
I think I'd have to go Genslinger.
Jimmy Stewart is a national treasure. And fun fact, here's my trivia. I actually did a report on Jimmy Stewart when I was in, I think it was like 4th or 5th grade, because he's from Pennsylvania. He's actually from Indiana, Pennsylvania. And I went to the Jimmy Stewart Museum that was like 3 blocks from my aunt and uncle's house out that way. So heck yeah, whenever he
Nice.
portrays Jimmy Stewart while they're role playing, it was first off super awkward, but also it's like, oh, Jimmy Stewart.
That's so cool.
Fantastic.
Oh, so good. I mean, shout out back to the other cameos; they were fantastic. I mean, Lake Bell as Amanda was fun. I just don't think we saw enough of her, but obviously that was probably the point of the episode. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was great. Genslinger's fantastic. Like just that voice, it was so bad, but so good.
All right, now we're going into Nick's tips. So I have a great line here that's my winner for Nick's tips, where he says, "No, you're trapped. You can't move, and they're standing behind you with their hands in your hair. And they expect you to talk back," because that's exactly 100% the line I relate to the most in the episode. What about you, Erica?
So there were 2 lines of Nick in this episode that I thought were the best. That was one of them, but also was, "Just take off your clothes, Jess," because that was my other one. So the haircut thing, because also I'm the same way. And I know that, like, for girls, that's supposed to be the thing. Go to the salon, talk about, your boy problems and what's going on in life and all that stuff. I go to the salon and I love the place I get my hair cut. And I actually really miss them because they're fantastic. And we talk about, things like cosplay and which conventions we're going to and rock shows, which is fantastic. I love them. And it's only like $20 to get my hair done, which is even better. But like, I hate having my hair cut. It's the worst. That's why my mom does it. But yeah, definitely just take off your clothes, Jess, when she's trying to get advice from the guys about having sex, because it's just, I think that line hit perfect.
So your hairdressers don't ask you about cars and sports and
No, thankfully,
that's just me. Okay.
I honestly have many times thought about going to like it's called Sports Clips, which is like the guys' haircut place. Multiple times have thought about just going there because I get just I get the shave thing done around here and then just trimmed up here, so I could very easily go to a guy's haircut place. But no, thankfully, I actually got this done at it's just another chain haircut place, and they do a fantastic job. And those girls, they're honestly the one girl I go to conventions with all the time. She's fantastic. I love her. She's great.
That's so cool.
It is
What
really
about
awesome.
you, man? Nick Stips?
I had on here. I did have that line that you've got, that you're trapped line. It was so good. I've got the flashback of Nick getting his hair cut. I've got that's a cute baby.
Yeah.
That might be possibly even in the last 2 episodes the most relatable moment to me. Because the amount of times I've gone to a hairdresser, and it's it's fun, the back and forth. But you always at some point you're gonna see a photo of someone's holiday or someone's baby, or it's
Mhm.
it's just gonna happen. So I thought that was pretty good. But I think the line I'm gonna go with is the back and forth with Nick and Winston. The I'm fantastic at sex, and then it's got you're scared to get a haircut. Yeah, I don't like getting a haircut. It's too intimate. What does that have to do with sex?
Uh-huh.
Yes, I love
That's
that
a great
one.
line. So good.
So I think I'm gonna lock that one as my next tips this week.
Nice. Well, now it's time for the douche jar or slash Schmidt's most relatable or douchey line. And for that, the one that's the douchiest for me at least was when he tries to invite himself to Gina's baby shower and he walks in her office. He says, Gina, I was just walking by and I mean, I was literally pulled in here by the glow. Like, Jesus, what is that? Who says that? That's
Yeah,
horrible.
it's pretty bad.
But yeah, I think that's definitely that takes the cake for the douche jar for me. What about you, Ben?
I've got the line at the actual at the actual party. I've got here. I'm going to get you one of those portable. Is that what you just said? Sorry, my headset actually cut out.
No.
I didn't. Okay, cool. I've got the line. I'm going to get you one of those portable baby pumps. You're just going to get out there in everyday life. You're pumping
Yes.
yourself at the same time. just milking away. And then I've just got the sound here, pash, pash, and then in brackets, milking noises. So that's one of the ones I got there, and then the last one that I've got is afterbirth. That sounds like a party after. That's like the party after you have the baby, where they say afterbirth ain't an afterbirth without some Schmidt up in there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's horrible.
So I don't know. Actually, I'm torn between the two, but I think we're gonna have to go with portable baby pump.
Portable
That's it.
baby pump was on my list, but to me that's more creepy than douchey. But I don't know. What about you, Erica?
It straddles the line,
It really does. And that was kind of my thing. I had the portable baby pump on there because that is just yeah, no. As someone who has a child, I just don't want anybody saying that to me. Please no. No, 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 no. Thank you anyways. And then the afterbirth thing, yeah, the whole that's the party you have after you have the baby, right? Yeah. That was my line that I picked for the douche jar this week was you know what they say, no afterbirth party without a little Schmidt up in there, because that was Schmidt didn't have a ton this week, but that was probably that was the line I picked this week.
Yeah, not a lot in
Nice.
there, but the ones that we do have are up there in terms of douchiness.
Pure gold.
Absolutely.
That's so douchey.
Absolutely.
That's so bad.
So awful. Yeah, it really is.
Now it's time for Winston.
What's up, Winston?
That segment, yes. For What's Up Winston this week, I loved the pep talk he gave Jess, and that's definitely like my favorite line where he says, "What are you worried about anyway? Paul doesn't care what you do. I've seen the way that boy looks at you, and he's crazy about you." Again, just taking control, Winston, in the episode where everyone was losing it, pretty much. I think that was my most relatable or just favorite Winston moment, I think, in the episode. Erica?
Absolutely the same. It's Winston's pep star. And I just love how Jess completely blows Nick off because of his ridiculous haircut, because he just looks insane. And she's like, I'm not talking to you right now. We're talking to Winston. And she just, and he does, he nails it. And even though Nick is literally saying the same things, Winston
Right.
just has that whole calming effect about him and how he's saying everything, and he just really, he nails it. And that is definitely my what's up Winston moment this week, is his little pep talk.
You can't take him seriously, with a haircut like that,
You really can't.
Yep.
Can't.
Is that your favorite moment, Ben?
I've actually got two different ones, and once again, I'm actually torn this week. I've got the back and forth with Nick and Winston, where Nick's talking about, he's like, "I was 16, I've gotten a lot better. Schmidt, you haven't gotten better. You haven't gotten that much better. I used to listen to you and Caroline all the time when you were in college. It was like listening to a rescue crew trying to communicate with a stranded miner. Are you okay? Yeah, are you okay?"
That's so good.
Yeah, we've got the Jess and Nick part. I've got Jess, do you think Paul watches stuff like that in reference to porn? And then we've got Nick, yep, Schmidt all the time. Winston, he's probably watching it right now. Just freaking poor Jess out. So I think I might go for that one, actually. That's good.
Nice. And now it's time for, hey girl, what you doing? What you doing, Ben?
No, buddy. I've just got my Christmas decorations up, actually, so it's looking very Christmassy. So that's a huge plus. There are so many Santas, everywhere. I think I counted 12 the last I saw, but
12.
it's looking very festive. So I'm very excited. I love Christmas, so yeah, that's what's up.
Nice.
That's what's up.
Yeah, that's what's up.
And now we'll do our MVP for the episode. For me, it has to be Winston, only because everyone else, like I said earlier, he was the only one who was in control. So I think maybe Winston or even Gangslinger. Again, we might have to give him the MVP for the second time, but I don't know. It's a tie for me between the two. What about you, Ben? Who do you think is the MVP for this episode?
I've got to go Jess for this one.
Jess.
She's so good. I mean, it's obviously in terms of just the comedic beats throughout the episode, but also I guess just her being in a probably slightly more vulnerable state potentially than we're used to seeing in the previous episodes. So I thought her performance was fantastic. And like you said earlier, I can see why she might have been nominated for that award.
Right.
I mean, some of the and shout out to the writers with some of these lines, like the V bomb on the P bomb.
Yes, that was a brilliant one.
Her little pep talk to herself in the mirror, like, "Hey, Tiger, you haven't sex enough." There's so much good stuff in there. And like I say, just the foreplay scene, like that, I can't imagine how hilarious it would have been, how hard it would have been not to laugh during that scene, well, especially with those two actors like that. That was good. So yeah, I'm going to give it to Jess. I think it's a really strong one from her, but absolutely, like you said, great. I'd say for the backups there, yeah, Winston and Gangslinger are great as well. So,
what about you, Erica? Who's
Ben's,
your MVP?
Ben stole all my notes. That's not fair.
Oh no, sorry. I've got more if you want more.
Jess is also my MVP. That's the one thing I wanted to bring up, that bathroom scene where she's like, I have to go to the loo, which is hilarious. Number one, I just love it. I have to go to the loo, right? Like, I mean, we've seen that scene a million times in different shows, movies, and everything. When someone's about to have sex and they're like, someone goes, I need to go to the bathroom. Not her. No, I have to go to the loo. She runs to the bathroom and she's like, hey, Tiger, you're about to have sex. And then she gives herself a high five in the mirror, which is hilarious. I love it. It is peak Jess, just her giving herself a high five in the mirror, and it just makes my day. And then my other favorite Jess moment in this episode is when she is like, she's nervously dancing around the apartment, about to tell the guys that Paul's coming over tonight and they're gonna have sex, and she's like, I'm gonna tap him like a maple tree, looking for some syrup. And it's just like, who says that? Like, that's just it's fantastic, and I love her. And you see her go through a roller coaster this episode, just trying still to get over Spencer, and it's fantastic. And I mean, it's again, goes back to just being relatable. Everyone always has that first time after you've been with someone forever, and it is super awkward and it's super weird. And well, you guys don't know this, but lingerie is super awkward and super weird, kind of just like Jess. And it's fantastic. And yeah, her joke about, starfish liking, polyps. It's just, she's peak comedy this episode. She really just hits it out of the park. And I love her in this episode. And she is definitely my MVP.
You know what? You guys have convinced me. I think Jess is my MVP now.
No. Can we talk about her flashback too?
Oh, yes, that was the other one. Everything she's learned about sex, she either learned about Spencer or the
Clinton trial.
She's laying on her bed and to the little radio, and then her mom comes up and she knocks the radio over and she goes, "No, Mom, I'm not listening to NPR." And it's just
so good. It's so good.
Hilarious. Fantastic. Yeah.
I've also got
actress is fantastic.
She's great, yes. The girl who plays Little Jazz, fantastic.
I also put it here for my Jess. I was going to say one of the ones I wanted to talk about as well was that line we briefly talked about the choking. Just the whole, the Jess, I messed up, he ran away and got scared. Winston, why would he get scared? Because I choked him. I lightly choked him. Oh, so good.
That's brilliant.
So good. Yeah.
Such a great episode.
It really is.
Yeah.
So what are we rating it then? Let's start with you, Erica. What's your rating?
Giving this episode 9.5 out of 10 Schmitties. This episode is so close to perfect for me. It really is. Just because, again, I think this one it really hits home. It really does. And she puts on such a fantastic performance, and there are so many great lines. And I'm so glad I watched this episode again this morning before we did this, because this is definitely one of my favorite episodes, just with having Justin Long in it, because again, one of my favorite recurring characters throughout this series. And
definitely,
it is one of the best episodes so far that we've done, and definitely one of the best episodes in season 1. And I'm probably just throughout the whole entire show, I'd say. But yeah, 9.5 for sure. I could talk about this one for a while. So
what about you, Ben? What's your rating?
I'm going 8.9 Schmitties out of 10.
8.9.
That was a great one, but I think I hold this one's fantastic. But yeah, I think I hold was it CC Crashes and episode 4 in very high regard. I think it's getting close. There's probably just some things for me that personally were missing, but I still think it's a very strong, really, really good episode. I loved it.
Nice. I'm going somewhere in between. I'm a solid 9, I think, for this episode. It's great, but yeah, I wouldn't say 9.5 for me personally, but it's a really, really good one. Now we want to know about Jake Watch. Any updates on that? Anyone?
Well, I did put out a tweet, and thank you all for your support. We're trying to get it out there, get the word out there. Hashtag let Jake know. Haven't heard any responses yet, but it's out there. So if you see that tweet circulating, yeah, spread the word.
No response doesn't mean he hasn't seen it.
Exactly.
True.
He's contemplating.
Keep retweeting, keep liking, do all that stuff, because the more times you do that, the more visibility it gets, the more chance he has to see it, or someone else who knows him maybe will see it and let him know, because we want to let Jake know. So
it's quite tough without him being on socials too, which I respect.
It really is. Absolutely.
But we might need to find a way of getting word to him. Carry a pigeon, something.
We'll find a way.
Absolutely.
All right, that's it for today's episode. You can catch more of our videos and our podcast feed, and we'll be reviewing movies very, very soon. So for all that content and more, you can head to theoupod.com, and that's where you can find our Patreon. Erica, what are the perks? Who's our Patreon producers?
Well, we've got lots of fun perks over there. We've got a Discord channel. We've got some early access stuff, some fun extra videos, early access to our table reads. And also, if you want, maybe even some fan fiction or some photoshops done by yours truly, Mr. Ben at Please Be Excited. All kinds of cool stuff. And our Patreon producers are Tiff Stardust, Largent, and the boys over at Simply Sassy.
Nice.
For people watching, if you can, please, it means the world to us if you can like, subscribe, and share. Yeah, definitely, especially subscribing to the YouTube channel definitely helps. Writing a review, just letting us know what you think. Yeah, please, that'd be fantastic. So yeah, like, subscribe, share. If you have any friends, family members, maybe that awkward sort of colleague that you've got that loves to get all up in your personal space, maybe ask them, or that lady at the grocery shop. It's just checking out, buying some carrots. Maybe just ask her, see if she likes New Girl. If she does, great. Get her to watch the show.
Absolutely. And until next time, keep it unofficial.